Is up, everyone? I am here with another pre-modern video. I wanted to get a chance to show off and talk about my baby, which is Gro-a-tog. This is a deck that was my first pre-modern deck. My first pre-modern purchase was a playset of Mox Diamonds, and this deck has had its ups and downs in the metagame. Initially, it kind of looked like just kind of a fun deck, and recently it's been picking up steam, and generally speaking, it's always been good to me. It's only like a little tricky to play. I mean, like, of course, you have to make a lot of decisions, and you normally win by small margins, but it's an awesome deck, and I get a lot of questions about it, so I wanted to use this video to show off some gameplay and also address some questions. So, mana base is 17 lands and 4 Mox Diamonds. 17 lands and 12 cantrips is totally stable, and you end up keeping most hands because you have like blue source, double cantrip, and whatnot. Mox Diamonds are super essential to fix the mana. This is a 5-color deck. It has cards from every color, and again, with 12 cantrips and 8 5-color sources, you generally are able to cast your spells when you want them. 12 cantrips, I feel, is super essential. I've seen people run as low as 10, and I think that you have to run the full 12. The core engine of this deck is finding your gushes, trying to find your colored sources, trying to find your creatures, and trying to get a counterspell into your hand at just the right time. People generally comment that 10 threats feels very light, but once again, cantrips just amplify the presence of threats, and the way the threats are spread out is just kind of elegant. The meddling mages are great as disruption against slower decks, and keeping the removal offline, stuff like Pernicious Deeds, stuff like Swords of Plowshares, and if they don't have any defense, sometimes you can just deal 20 damage to the Meddling Mage on its own. Korean Dryad is the most efficient threat in the format. You can't get a bigger creature for 2 mana. You don't need it to be huge. You just need it to be like a 3/3 or like a 3/3. It blocks every goblin, and as a 4/4 or 5/5, it just blocks and attacks better than any creature in the entire format. Same goes for Psychotog. Psychotog just kind of rolls the battlefield, and towards the end of the game, it just turns all your cards into Fireball. So Psychotog is just like a great way to close the game when things have gone long. The Disruption package. The most recent change I made was cutting out Daze for Swords of Plowshares. Initially, Daze is much more efficient, right, than Swords of Plowshares. It can get stuff that isn't just a creature, and it can get it for 0 mana. And sometimes you can pick up an island for foil. What I was finding was I was playing against decks and running out of gas a lot. This deck's only source of card advantage is Gush. And on top of Gush, you used to run 2 foils, and with 4 Mox Diamonds, you pretty much have no card advantage. Your only sources of card advantage come from virtual card advantage generated by Meddling Mage, naming cards that your opponents can't play, generated by running 17 lands, making your top decks better. The cantrips generate virtual card advantage, so you're always able to get towards answers. Armageddon and Winter Orb can be seen as sources of card advantage, but even given all that, you would draw Dazes late when you're kind of in top deck mode, and you really just needed to get something that does something. So switching from basing the deck around Daze to basing it around Plow has felt good so far. Another thing of note, Plowshares is really only a bad card against Landstill, Replenish, and formally Parfait, or like a Parfait variant that you might see these days. So Plowshares is more, I mean, it's bad against Stasis for what it's worth. Like Daze is a lot better against Stasis. Against Mono Red, you kind of want both Daze and Plowshares. So in general, I just kind of looked at the format, and it was just like, game 1, you really want to beat those resolved Exalted Angels, those resolved Dreadnoughts. You can beat them by Fire Icing and hoping that you have a creature that can get through by time walking, but Plowshares just lets you play on and be efficient. So same note about days about foil. Foil is really only good if you've cast Gush. You really just don't want to throw a foil out there before you've cast Gush, because it's just so unlikely that you're just going to have so much extra material in your hand. So I went from 2 down to 1. Fire Ice is kind of a linchpin in the deck. It helps you play quite well against creature decks in game 1. Normally your pattern is to use Fire Ice and now Swords of Plowshares to suppress early threats and kind of go over the top of them by just having bigger creatures and trying to dominate the battlefield before they're able to get their like go wide and go over you plan. 3 counterspells. Counterspell's awesome. The deck used to run 2 Winter Orb. Winter Orb is incredible with Daze. It means that Daze is always online, and if you're a Legacy player, you know that in Legacy, Wasteland and Daze are kind of like a crucial combo. Since Wasteland is less effective in this format, there's a lot less targets for Wasteland, and it's harder to run Wasteland in a mana base that needs to support 5 colors. Winter Orb became our Wasteland, and so Winter Orb Daze became the combo. I cut Daze, so it made sense to get away from Winter Orb and play more Armageddon and use the Gush Armageddon synergy. That said, the resurgence of manlands in this format has made people, turn to cards like Sabo's Web, which are kind of popular. All the Winter Orbs could be Sabo's Web. I don't want to be too narrow-minded. There's a black-white control deck. There's decks like the Rock that get tripped up by Winter Orb pretty heavily. So I want to have a card that's more flexible. And I'm electing with a Winter Orb Armageddon split. If you have Winter Orb on the table, your opponent's going to try to keep playing lands to keep casting spells, then Armageddon's just going to punish them, right? So I used to have like an only Armageddon setup. I want to do Armageddon Winter Orb split because when I was on only Armageddons and my opponents had a read on that, they would just hold back lands and they would be able to get around my Armageddon. So now I can try to put them in a corner by starting with Winter Orb Armageddon and then finishing with 2 copies of each. Sideboard is pretty straightforward. You want spells that are relatively high leverage. So Engineered Plague and Chill just get more than their money's worth when they're cast, and they're good in multiples. So I have a lot of copies, and I'm planning on drawing a lot of copies in the matchups that matter. Disenchant, Ray of Revelation is kind of the same way. If you draw Revelation, you're just way ahead on Sylvan Library Oath decks. This deck doesn't interact well with Oath of Druids. So Revelation's really good there. And then you need some number of Disenchant just because you run into artifacts sometimes. There's not too many artifacts that matter, but the biggest ones are Sphere of Resistance and Phyrexian Dreadnought, so just got to have them. And then we're just bolstering for our grindy matchups with more Winter Orb Armageddon. The other thing is that now that the deck is structured like this, most games you sideboard, you're just going to be sideboarding out Fire Ice when you don't have good targets for fire. Or you'll be sideboarding out your Mana Disruption if your opponent's low to the ground. You'll be setting out a counterspell if your opponent's relatively efficient, doesn't cast big spells that you can get counterspelled, or of course Swords of Plowshares if your opponent doesn't have creatures. So no point in over sideboarding in any matchups. The 12 cantrip structure means that you're going to find your sideboard cards, so you really just make small changes. Every now and then maybe side out Meddling Mage if you can't get a good name, and you almost never sideboard out Quirion Dryad. Sometimes Dryad doesn't line up great and you maybe would want to play 3 because your game plan doesn't involve having Dryad early. It involves playing control, and so you can get a Dryad, play a bunch of spells. It's very hard to stick a Dryad against Burn, for instance, but our plan for Burn now is to mulligan until you have Chill in the opening hand and try to get a Chill in there. One counter to that plan is that if the Burn has Pyroblast, they're going to be able to Pyroblast under your Chill in a lot of games, and we no longer have Daze to protect our Chill. So that's one big downside of not having Daze, but it's a cost worth playing. So anyways, that's the quick Gro-a-tog primer, and we'll jump into some matches. All right, we're in match 1. Keepable hand. Really good hand against, Phyrexian Dreadnought. Oh, basic swamp. Tends to be a trickier one for my deck, but we'll see how it goes. That's where the land disruption comes in. Take sleight of hand. I'm lucky I didn't have a gush in my hand. Sleight of hand replaces itself. Okay, we're looking at some black-white something. Verdict. I'm definitely going to discard this Fire Ice. The question is if I want to discard this Meddling Mage. I'm going to discard the Plow and Fire Ice. So we can opt. Plow, Fire Ice. I don't have the source for this. I'm just going to bottom it. Winter Orb is already great. Okay. So Winter Orb means I really don't have to keep this Plow ever. And then I can just Meddling Mage naming Plow next turn. Yeah, that seems good. Triple Meddling Mage, so I get to name Plow, Vindicate, and Wrath of God with my mages, huh? Seems okay. So yeah, I pitched the Plow because my opponent is just never going to be in a spot where they can like play and flip an Exalted Angel anymore, so there's that. Unfortunately, I don't have that much else going on, so maybe I could have discarded a mage and kept something around, but who knows. Maybe they just Vindicate here. So I might name it and Vindicate for the first mage. Dust Bowl is not good, obviously, under Winter Orb. This should be a tough matchup, though. What does that tell me? I think I want the creatures. I just want the aggression. Mage. So I'm going to name Vindicate. I want to protect my Winter Orb because it's going to continue making my opponent's life hard. They can untap and Plow it, and then I just play another one naming Vindicate, and it's fine. I mean, they didn't have it that turn, so, you know, whatever, but it's what it is. Decree of Justice is obviously very bad here, so I'm down to run this in. My second one is going to name Wrath of God here. The Dust Bowl makes me pretty sure I'm playing against Lafran. My opponent had the chance to cast Exalted Angel, but didn't. Let's see if this is a Decree for 2 or 3. Just a Plow. Okay. I think I'm going to relax for one turn. No, I should get out back on the board. Let's see, once again, I'm going to name Vindicate, because I kind of want my own Plow, because my opponent's at like Dragon Angel mana. So that's something to worry about for sure. Nice, okay, so we got pressure. My opponent has plenty of mana, but it's great because this, like, if I ever get to Armageddon, I'm going to be in great shape, although a Wrath of God would be really good here. Yeah, I want... This Dryad doesn't really change the clock enough, I think, for me to like want to draw land this turn. I just need to have backup against stuff that my opponent might have. Okay, we're rewarded. Okay, we're rewarded again. Now we get Decree. I can live with a Decree that just taps down all my opponent's mana. I mean, and this seems like they have to have like Disenchant or something. Quadruple block. And then we get a Dryad. Alright, so we're on Gush or Bust. Obviously we can do some cantripping. I think that was like a really bad Decree, honestly. I mean, if they're going to run a land, or if they have Disenchant here, they're just going to be the beatdown. They're working towards an Armageddon, or Wrath of God, maybe. Or just another Plowshares. I guess I should have named Plowshares the mage. I'd have all my mages around. Okay. My opponent is 2 Plowshares deep. Let's see. They can get a Vindicate off this turn if they have a land. And obviously they can do other stuff that's good. I mean, Gerard's Verdict would even be good here. That is fine. That is not enough. It's going to continue tapping their lands. Yeah, I'm just going to keep gushing, I'm pretty sure. Gush. Oh man, I even gotta have Counterspell up. Okay, this game is pretty over. Oh, I gotta have Counterspell and Foil up. Probably just want to keep gushing though. It's interesting. Maybe I should have kept like double counter up, because I have to draw a second island to cast this Gush, but I can actually hard cast the Gush. It's like not even bad. Okay, my opponent's gonna let me chunk out their life total here. And I'm just gonna leave 3 so that I can counter the Phyrexian Furnace. Actually, that just really doesn't matter. I can yield to that, actually. Hold the rest. Dress is a pretty good draw. I want the foil instead of the Gush from that dress. Hard to say. Hard to say. Okay. I mean, do we just wait for the Gush? I'm gonna wait one more turn. Actually, I don't have to wait. This is like gonna cut them off like Swords of Plowshares and stuff. Get in. Like I just gotta play Magic and they don't, right? So. Drawing lands, but not good ones. Colorless land is great for me, obviously. Okay, this should be a lock with no access to Swords to Plowshares. They just like won't have a chance, and they can't put their own creature out. Drawing a card, of course. I mean, they could get to Planar Rebirth. So what's really cool is that if they have Planar Birth, the Winter Orb just turns off all their Planar Birth cards, so it's like pretty sweet. So we get the double block on Psychotog. Oh, double block on Meddling Mage is pretty good. I hadn't considered that. It's okay. Playing a little bit too fast now because I thought I had the game locked up, but now it's actually interesting. Well, that's fine. They get the planes, but it costs having a land tapped. Let's get some cantrips. I think we'll keep... We actually need to draw... Well, actually, it doesn't matter what we draw, because if we draw islands, we can gush, and if we draw like cantrips that are like whatever, but it's probably fine. We're just looking for a gush then. Sure. Actually, I don't want any of this. Alright, my opponent's drawn 3 plowshares, and I'm still in great shape to win the game. If they draw the 4th, then things get dicey, obviously, but... Collecting Fool, they can only make white. Alright, do I try to kill them? Fear is the Mind Killer. we go. Alright. Yeah, I don't know, that decree seemed ambitious. So Fire Ice is quite bad against them. Armageddon's good. Obviously. And I also like running one Engineered Plague for soldiers. Soldiers are kind of like annoying against Meddling Mage beats. Should be a harder one going into game 2. Keep Foil around as like a 4-mana counterspell. It's not the worst. Fire Ice kind of gets face down Angels sometimes. It's weird because like I'm basically the control deck in a lot of ways. That was a pretty good hand. My opponent had a lot of resistance though, 3 Plowshares. Stuck 2 Gerard's Verdicts on me. Like Gerard's Verdict is like really annoying for my deck. So we have such little material. Like we're Mox Diamonding. It's like Mox Diamond start into Gerard's Verdict is like pretty not gas. How much do I like Fire Ice? I like Fire Ice more than any of these cards. It's like I do kind of want to burn some Angels, but it's probably just not part of the main thing. Cool hand. I've got Gush, I've got cantrips. Psychotog's a little early. Just need a source. Important counts. No Gerard's Verdict. Counts as a source. Okay. We can go pretty hard. What should we do? Should we name Plowshares? Yeah, the question is if we name Plowshares, basically. Let's see. I think I can see what my opponent has coming. I don't really mind drawing any kinds of cards off the top of my deck here. Just like, because I'm just going to draw them. Okay, Dress Eternal Dragon. I am fine with that. I'm going to cast Gush next turn, so they can shuffle away their Duresses and like just like live in. They can like live in fear of. It's like kind of a funny. All right, I guess I could have put the Duresses on top and then just name Duress, but we're gonna name Swords. 1 turn window for Vindicate here, not the best for me. Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess I should have ported myself, knowing that their most likely turn 2 play was going to be Dragon. I got a really good draw for the possible Angel. No Angel. You can be my Angle or you can be my Devil. Oh, Dryad. Oh, Wrath of God is so scary here. Oh, man. These are the worst. These spots are the worst. Right, we're gonna cast Gush no matter what, so we're just gonna cast Dryad no matter what. Like my opponent doing nothing definitely suggests that they're gonna have some stuff going on that's like decent, but like if they Wrath, I have Psychotog. It's not like the best. I guess I should have like maybe led on Psychotog because I'd rather have a another. Oh yeah. Well, no, they didn't draw that. I'd rather have another. I'd rather have like another. I'd rather have a Dryad post Wrath of God rather than a Tog. Okay, we're opting. Yeah, I want that card. Okay, this game is super trivial if I can fade the Wrath for 1 turn. That's all I need. Decree.
1 token. Oh, I guess I shouldn't have played the island. Oh, if I draw foil, I gotta draw foil, so. Smother action? Yeah. Opponent didn't draw any Gerard's Verdict. It's pretty hard for them from that spot, I think. What is... Oh, Skeletal Scrying? I'd probably... Oh, no, Skeletal Scrying's fine. Discard... City... That's probably... Should I Meddling Mage naming Planner Birth? I think I have to Meddling Mage naming Planner Birth. Hold up, hold up. We gotta pull up Scryfall to make sure that's the name of the card. Yep. Okay, taste it. Hope this doesn't end up causing my own demise. I mean, like, Vindicate's probably a good name, but I get under a Wrath of God, so we're good on that. Oh, okay, now we're locked. Okay, pretty sweet game. Makes me feel a lot better about the matchup. I mean, it kind of just feels like their deck is just way too weak to Armageddon. Clean little 2-0. GG's. See you on the next one. Alright, playing against Baron Bounty or Phil from Mox Forge. I think this person normally does videos, so you might be able to see both sides of this match. Triple 410, a little slow, but I'm gonna find some cards and I can even like portent my opponent, so don't mind it. Sure. What are we gonna do? Do I want to Sleight of Hand the Psychotog away? Yeah, it's too early for Psychotog, right? Wait, no, I'm going to draw all three. Unless I specifically need to get past my Psychotog. What if I played Dryad turn 2? Oh. Oh. Looks like this could be a survival of the fittest situation, in which case I'm really going to want... well, developing Korean's good because survival decks normally don't have a lot of acceleration or a lot of removal, and then hopefully my like Fire Ice can catch a couple dorks, slow them down. A wall would be really rough for me. Walls are annoying. And if it's red-green survival and they just like have like lightning bolt situation, then that could also be tough. Oh, yes, thank you. This is like, might be the only way that I can win this match because it's really hard to outgrind the survival value. Let's see if, and I mean, they might have blue mana, like a Gilded Drake is something to be worried about for sure. And like they can also just make Infinity Root Walla, so that definitely makes things a little hard. But if this was all their mana, then we're not in the worst shape. Oh, Survival Welder. Oh, Survival Welder with white mana. Okie dokie. Well, without enough green mana to really spin their survival, I'm not like the most worried. Okay, sleight of hand. Let's try to get an island. Or plowshares. Meddling Mage is okay. Armageddon's going to be better from this board state, though. Let's try to get an island. Okay. Gonna draw all three, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so unless my opponent puts the big girl down like this turn with just 1 green mana up to 2 green mana, so they can go pitch Squee, grab Shield Sphere, pitch something else, grab... Yeah, no, I mean they need to have one good thing in their hand. They need to have like Masticore in their hand or something. Pitch Squee, what are we getting? So if they don't have the green mana, I'm not scared. But yeah, they can put the big girl onto the battlefield. Obviously, like a Gilded Drake would also be good. Wall of Roots, Forest. Oh, oh yes. Okay, we are doing the thing. Okay, that was a good Armageddon, but it was only because there was like a bunch of Birds of Paradise in play, so... Okay, Counterspell is just useless, especially... Yeah, it's basically useless. So we're going to bring in Disenchants. Engineered Plague naming Goblin is not the worst. Winter Orb is pretty bad. Winter Orb Armageddon, even though Armageddon got me there that game, like, it's so hard to like lace together, kill all of your mana dorks, and have Armageddon. So I want to have a pretty fair amount of resistance to survival, and also the presence of like Tangle Wire and other nonsense means Disenchant is going to have a premium. What kind of cards is my opponent going to board in? They have like what, Tangle Wire loops and like Massacres and stuff. They have that like Thopter Squadron situation, so this is like better card in that context too. Plowshares is kind of good. If my only answer to Massacre, Fire Ice is good. So we're just going to go back to cutting cantrips or cutting Queer and Dryads. They have white mana. I don't really know what that white mana is for. I'll cut cantrips on the draw. I'm more likely to have the lands I need in hand. I cut Meddling Mage on the draw. It's just like not good against that doesn't get under Survival of the Fittest. Like I'm probably gonna name Goblin Welder, but I'm also probably gonna engineer play Goblin Welder. Maybe I should try to kill all the dorks and put them under Orb. Alright, I think this game we're gonna bolt the bird. I think this game we're gonna play turn 1 Korean Dryad. Hopefully it's Wall of Roots here. And not like Wall of Roots +1. Survival is not my favorite. Okay. Portent Self. Okay. I want to fire something, but the first thing he's going to do is spend 1 green mana to go get Wallet Roots, and then play the Wallet Roots, and then use another green mana. So I'm going to Plowshare the Wallet Roots, and then this Fire Ice actually isn't live. I have to opt away the card that's that land, though. Opto is also good because, like, technically I'll get under a bolt, but it's just so unlikely that they're just gonna like throw random lightning bolt at me. And of course I can just ice this mountain. Seems really loose to ice the mountain, though. When I can just, like, get a Welder later. I shouldn't have pitched the City of Brass. I need more colored mana on some of these turns. Okay, let's see if this is white mana. Could just be Swords of Plowshares. All creatures have protection from red. That includes my Korean Dryad. Okay. Guess I should iced. Okay. I'm gonna ice anyways. I know they can use the mana, but I need to draw deeper. Strange Hermit. Bottoming this land. Okay, I did bottom it. Yeah. Okay. Now maybe I should have kept 2 counterspells in or something, 1 counterspell in. Like, from this kind of board position, not having counterspell is kind of lame. So I kind of need, like, Psychotog right now. Intrepid Hero. I mean, Intrepid Hero with protection from red is pretty sick. Yeah, Plowshares. Plowshares gets Intrepid Hero. I mean, I can also just name Soldier, too. With Engineered Blake. Yeah, I wish I had City of Brass here. Okay, these are all great cards. Let's see if I can bait the no block here. Intrepid Hero. I mean, with anger, it's like obviously gets there. Okay, they had the read. Wall of Roots. Little chump block situation. Terravor. I did not expect Terravor. I don't even know what to name with Engineered Plague. Let's see if I have +4 cards and +3 cards in hand, up to 9, play a land, try to play 1 more spell. Terravor, Welder situation. I don't even want to play this Mox Diamond because let's just say, I mean, Goblin Welder doesn't do anything here. I should have held this back. Goblin Welder does nothing. The real problem is, like, if they play, like, Deranged Hermit. I mean, things could get bad. Should I name Elf or Squirrel? Probably have to name Squirrel. And yeah, might as well just threaten lethal. Okay. guess they were over it. Or they have like a one green spell, like fog. Okay, just got him. Oh, they had the big girl. Chump. Could have gotten there with a Goblin Welder. Wouldn't have gotten there with the big girl. Alright. We're gonna battle against PDS. And Fran knows his name, I don't know his name. And we're gonna start off with a pretty sick Meddling Mage start. So I can Portent, take a damage. I can just open on Opt and hold the Portent. Is there anything I really want to draw here? An island is good. I think I'm going to hold the Portent because I might have a fetch coming my way, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with the selection yet, so I'm just going to start on Opt. I think I really just want that third land and then like that island for the Gush. And like I wouldn't mind a Mox Diamond. Okay, so basic force, nothing is... could be a lot of things. One thing it is normally not is Elves. So this... So I probably could have portented my opponent to get the info because of the possibility that they have Oath of Druids. So yeah, this is a tough decision point. Okay, I think I'm going to keep this Dryad. I could go for the ballsy, like, Mage naming Survival of the Fittest. I'm basically split between Mage naming Survival of the Fittest and Mage naming Oath of Druids. It's so unlikely that they would have Survival of the Fittest with no turn 1 play on the basic forest, but the thing is Survival of the Fittest makes my life so much harder. So I think I'm going to keep this Dryad, but yeah, I feel like I have to name Survival here. I guess I should have really portented them on turn 1. It's a weird thing to think. But yeah, if we do Mage Name, like the thing about Mage Naming Survival is that it's like a huge swing, right? If I stick this Mage Naming Survival, then the game becomes super easy for me. And if it turns out to be Oath of Druids, then, you know, we lose game 1 anyway, so it's fine. Okay, well now we can just develop information. It's a good time to draw the card counter spell. Second Forest. Wild Mongrel. Okay. That is a card. So from here, glad we drew the island. Hello, soy sauce. Okay, against Wild Mongrel decks, getting a big Dryad is normally good news. So we're gonna go ahead and develop. They could be any flavor. I mean, a lot of basic forest normally means stuff. We'll go ahead and shuffle this. Don't need that many islands, especially with the Gush availability. Would have kept a Mox Diamond though to let me double Mage next turn. Okay, I do get a double Mage. Okay, it is blue-green. Survival's good, but we can disrupt the survival pretty easily. There's a lot of things we can stop it from getting. So because I'm about to dominate the battlefield and I want to kill them, I'm gonna probably go for... I'm thinking Basking Rootwalla into... Basking Rootwalla into Gilded Drake. Basking Rootwalla is of course super annoying for infinite chump blocks, but maybe infinite chump blocks just isn't that big of a deal. Arrogant Worm really doesn't matter. It's like Gilded Drake and Waterfront Bouncer, maybe? Like, are the only remaining cards that really deal with my board? Oh boy, that's an interesting spot. So I'm definitely naming Gilded Drake with one, so I think I'm going to name Rootwalla and Drake. I think I'm just going to try to kill my opponent while they're spinning their survival, and naming Rootwalla means that they can't get a bunch of free chump blocks. Just convert every green mana into a free chump block. So we're going to go for Basking Rootwalla, and then we're going to name Gilded Drake. And then we're going to get in for 4. I'm not going to Gush yet. It's just not mana efficient. I don't have a land drop. I don't have any plays. Rootwalla also holds back Meddling Mage, so it's pretty reasonable. Gilded So they can get a dog here, which is reasonable, but I think I can fight a dog with my Dryad. Just only goes up. But yeah, I guess I should have named Survival of the Fittest, huh, on turn 2. They like start on Mongrel, go to Survival. Really interesting spot. I mean, this game just is over if I name Survival, but I just didn't have the foresight to... I mean, I just wanted to Dryad, I guess. Just kind of felt like they would prioritize Survival over whatever. So 5 cards and a Squee in hand. So this dog can be a 7/7 if they discard all their cards. We can also just draw Swords of Plowshares. Wouldn't mind a Winter Orb, actually. Okay. So because we want to see Swords of Plowshares so bad, I'm pretty into Portent Shuffle into Opt to just look for the plow. Okay. Water. And yeah, let's just go again. That's all that matters, I think. Play an island, and we'll opt. I guess I can also just offer up the Mind Twist. Oh, I'll just ice? Oh, that seems super good. I don't even have to ice, too. Oh, but if I ice, I just get in for a billion. Okay. And once again, I have this Rootwalla name is pretty good for me. It just stops anything from jumping out in front. Look at how huge my Dryad is. It's been in play for just 3 turns. It's my second Dryad attack. I got 2 Portent draws coming for me. Life is good. My opponent's at 3. Getting all the squeeze they can. But yeah, double Mongrel's good, but I'm just gonna start eating Mongrels. Like, how much board presence can they get? 2 creatures? Ooh. Ooh, yeah, let's go. Okay, now life just becomes super simple. I can just play this Winter Orb into Psychotog, and now my opponent just can't. Like, they can draw however many cards a turn they want, they're just not going to be able to have the mana to deploy them. Super sweet match. I mean, really awkward that I didn't name Survival of the Fittest with turn 2 Mage, but not punished for it, so, you know, I can live with that. I mean, I guess my opponent could conceivably put like a bunch of... So they can put 11 in front of my Mage, but I can also just play Gush Psychotog, or like 11 in front of my Dryad. Just play Gush Psychotog. They can get all the squeeze in the world. So I really need a Mox Diamond here, because then I can go Gush Psychotog and then Winter Orb all in the same turn. Alright, how are we going to sequence this turn? So I can just ice a Mongrel. I can also fire my opponent's face. What's more likely to win? What kind of spells can my opponent have? I'll just draw the card. Fire is obviously good, but ice just gets it done. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sweet game 1. And now I know that I need to Mage naming Survival. So this is kind of an interesting one. The plan definitely is to get a big Dryad. It's hard to cast 4 CMC Armageddon here. And yeah, foil just... Nothing I want to foil besides Survival of the Fittest. And I talked about it. You just like don't want to foil early. So I like having some resistance. So I like having some resistance to Survival. I don't want to go crazy. Because the other half of their deck really grinds with the Squee engine. The big thing is this entire deck is like the Squee engine, right? And I don't know if Lizard name is like good enough for engineered play because it doesn't really hit anything else. It can sometimes get a waterfront bouncer. Waterfront bouncer, of course, an issue for this deck. We really want all this though. How good is Winter Orb? I mean, Winter Orb is like an answer to survival in a sense, but is the game going to be out mana or is the game going to be out card advantage? Like, they are a pretty mana hungry deck. I want everything. Counterspell is also up for debate. Like, I'm not going to counterspell survival. Like, sometimes I'll counter an Arrogant Worm. Maybe a Meddling Mage is actually in trouble because they might have Pyrokinesis. It's like I have to live in fear of Pyrokinesis, which is super awkward. Alright, I'm just going to keep all these cards are in, so we're going to cut 2 from here. Probably trim 1 Counterspell, and maybe we'll trim 1 Winter Orb, and we'll just go like this. 3 answers for survival, 2 of them get 2 survivals. Counterspell sometimes relevant, Winter Orb sometimes relevant. Submit. I mean, we had a great start that game, so can't be guaranteed to always have a great start. Man, this one's so close. So close. With the land, I get a turn 1 Mage Survival, and Mage Dog, Mage Survival. Oh, I don't even have to Mage Survival, I can turn 1 Mage Dog. No reason to gamble, though, I think. There we go. This hand's totally fine. Get a start on a plow. I get a gush into good stuff. And then if I obviously top deck a mage, that's good news. Okay, they've got the sick Squee, Rootwalla, Careful Study start, and I get the sick Korean Dryad start. So we are both off to the races. Oh, got me on the basic island days. Okay. Probably a game-winning days right there. Especially if I don't draw a land. If I draw a land, it gets interesting. Okay, these are all good cards. I think I'll just keep it like this and plan to fire and fire into Disenchant. I get an easy plow on this mongrel. Okay, so I probably should have top Disenchant, right? It's fine. I still get to catch this catch this survival before it generates any value. Obviously, I kind of wish it was a rare revelation, but we're still in good shape. We're in control of the game. We've got our gush. It's just hard to bounce back from a daze like that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Okay, Frantic Search into Arrogant Worm. Oh, Frantic Search for pure value. Pretty good so far. Yeah, opponent just sending way more grind my way. Okay, so what's the play from here? I do need to get deeper into my deck. I don't think I can respect this Rootwalla too much. Yeah, I mean, I want to try to catch 2 Rootwallas, right? It's like just a 3/3 doesn't matter. We'll take Psych-Tog. Obviously, Psych-Tog is huge. Probably wait a little bit to cast it under daze. I think we're successfully in the kin play around daze part of this game. Although, I guess I have to be worried about the potential of Wonder entering into the battlefield. Man, this game's no longer in a winnable spot for me. I can't really compete with how many cards my opponent's drawn. Okay, I guess I can play around double daze, but I also kind of want to play double plow. Just play it correctly anyways, I think. They're contemplating the foil. Okay, no foil. Again, I'm just going to ignore this Rootwalla. My opponent doesn't have Wonder yet. And we look like we're holding up Counterspell for survival, which is good. But yeah, once my opponent draws survival, it's just over with the 2 squeeze. Another mongrel, okay. No activation is super telling here for my opponent. So we're going to play around Mana Leak. Yeah, that's a good gush. Okay, that's a great gush now. Probably pitches the squeeze for some life points. Oh, there is a wonder in the picture. Okay. Okay. So now we are in a somewhat tight situation here. Okay. Oh, geez. Things got complicated. So I have access to exactly 4 mana, so something can get dazed. I'm in a race situation. Getting this mage down is good, but I don't even know what I'm going to mage. Like, survival of fittest no longer feels like it matters. I'm going to prioritize sticking the fire ice instead, I think. Engineered Plague-on Lizard might have been a play. And yeah, we're just going to get this mage onto the battlefield. Okay. Yeah, I think I couldn't have afforded to wait on the mage, honestly. My Tog can't deal 26, so we're in really rough shape here. Okay, opponent on potential just counterspell. But yeah, the presence of the Wonder just makes this a super lopsided battle. I'm just playing for all my Swords to Plowshares, and my opponent's just playing for all his creatures. Okay. Imagine if I had a Korean Dryad. I'll take one now, though. Gush. How patient am I? I think I want to be a step more patient, just one step more patient. Like my opponent's just holding back everything, so it's like a bunch of squeeze. Okay. Didn't want to counter back. Feels like they should have if they had it, so not sure what's going on there. Okay, that's some really good action. Okay, so we're gonna mage. We've dealt with 3 wild mongrels. So what should we do? Just mage naming Arrogant Worm? Arrogant Worm's like the most existential threat. I have another Gush. I have to believe my Gush can get answers for Survival of the Fittest, but I'm also on my last Swords of Plowshares. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be Meddling Mage. And yeah, I think Arrogant Worm is the scariest thing. And so the last question is if my opponent has Gilded Drake with Daze backup to stop my Wild Mongrel. And I think I am going to play in fear of that exact sequence because, again, the Psych Talk, because it's not going to kill him right away, like if I get it in a couple turns early, sure, it's like on the battlefield, it's great, it deals 1 damage a turn, but it really doesn't matter, right? Like, we're still trying to grind my opponent out here. So, I don't know what's going on with them. They have a lot of mana. We're just going to keep doing our game. Play our Tog. I mean, maybe they have all squeeze. Okay, our Tog is in. We drew a lot of gushes, which is obviously good. I'm gonna get in this damage. Maybe I'll stop with like 8 in graveyard. Imagine if my deck had Berserk. Oh man. Put Berserk in Premodern. Damage. What is this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's like not even close to enough. 4 plus 9 is 13. So it's 19, 21 damage. It's actually close. I have to save it for next turn. I really don't want to be priced into overcommitting a Psychotog against like a possible bounce spell, but because I have so many lands to pitch, this Psychotog's just like always going to be cooking. Oh, I guess one of the cool things I could do is like Plowshares my own Psychotog against like a Ray of Command. Of course, Ray of Command not in my opponent's range, but... Okay, I'm just going to wait to get max value from this ice. We're looking for another Gush here, of course. So do we go for the kill? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So short on the kill. Oh, but it's like kill with Fire Ice. Yeah, okay. Just drew dead. Show me the hand. Yeah, completely drew dead. Well, I'm super lucky. I mean, they had 6 looks plus the survival. I mean, they could have maybe gotten more value out of survival, but that's probably the only thing that would have been different if they just played. I think the only thing that could have gone differently is if they played survival with like a bunch of green mana up to get value, but yeah, super tight match. Very lucky for me in game 3 that they just didn't get off the ground. Or was that game 2? Yeah, it was game 2. All right, match number 4 against Francisco. I don't have a great record against Francisco's, but here's to hoping that we can change that right here. And of course, being on the play is a good start. Okay, this is an interesting one. I mean, it's definitely a keep. One of my favorite plays here is to try to opt into the land, and because we have the second opt to hit the land on the next turn, I think it's pretty sound, because I can just go opt into Important, and then I'm just like off to the races if I hit this land here. Yeah, just like how we drew it up. And I'll go ahead and want to guarantee my next land drop as well. Next land drop and next cantrip. So I get to bottom this Korean Dryad after casting my next opt. So that's pretty sick. Although triple Korean Dryad start is not bad. But surely 2 Korean Dryads is enough, right? Against most decks. I also just need to get to counter spells. I discovered Paradise Mox. Oh no! I need to turn this off actually. This is probably like a mono white. Okay. A lot of players actually name Korean Dryad with Meddling Mage, so let's see if it happens. This is most likely Terrageddon. Pretty sweet. Yeah, got me. Okay, let's just casually draw our plentiful removal here. I want to hold up counterspell. What do they do on turn? I'm not going to counterspell a Werebear. I'm just going to portent into Fire Ice is fine, and then I'll get a shuffle away the nonsense. Yep. This is not really something I'm concerned about because the best card, the best land they can get is Wasteland, and just like doesn't matter. Should I mean, if they feed me another 1/1, I've got 2 Korean Dryads in my hand though. I might play another Meddling Mage. Play another Meddling Mage off counterspell. I mean, the best thing for them to do is to attack, right? So I'm just going to do this now. I just don't really see too much downside. Okay, we're really gunning for a gush next turn, or opponent not doing anything interesting right now. But obviously gush is nice because I can pick up the land. We'll kill a Terravore here for sure. Counterspell Melee Mage. Just because I have 2 Dryads, that's how it goes. It's like really annoying to waste the counterspell here. Don't think I'll ever have anything going on. Probably cycling land, right? So far 2 mana to replace the 1/1. So it's in a 1/1 draw card. But I have no tempo right now. Open to gain it. Or opt, because obviously if we find gush, that's insane. Meddling Mage. Meddling Mage doing Terravore. Doesn't really play well into my curve right now. I just got to keep the engine rolling, because next turn I want to use my colored mana for another Dryad. City of Brass is actually great. Gush is actually great. Sitting their land drop here. It's fine. So they'll be able to draw a card. There are 5 cards to my 2. Mage. Something like Mage being Swords of Plowshares is not very opportunistic here. It's getting to the point where Terravore is kind of annoying, but I guess it's only a 3/3, but a Terravore plus the Wayfarer combo is pretty good. They also like fetch to Windswept Heath. Try to get under a Terravore here. It's not my favorite play, because I still need to build some board presence before their Wayfarer produces enough value to beat me out. Also, a little sad I'm not seeing gushes. Their Swords Plowshares is fine. Sylvan's fine. I don't know if I'm even going to board in hate for Sylvan. It's a cleric, it's a wizard. No plans on activating this turn. Okay, they're down to 3 cards. And surely a gush is going to be in our future, right? Gone so long without a gush. Hold on to this Flooded Strand. Their deck likely contains Armageddon. Just pick up the Paradise. Okay. So that they can get the shuffle on for the Sylvan Library. Pretty good. Yeah, I'm really just getting grinded right now. But they still have to make it good. Pay 4. Yeah, it smells like a Terravore. Luckily, my Psychotog should be able to brawl with this Terravore for quite a few turns. I'm surprised they don't have more utility lands to be picking up. Let's see if they get the Soul Raid here. Gush, great name. It's probably going to be when I draw it too. This will be the time. Nope. Get some damage in. Gotta pressure them under this Sylvan. We're actually in like pretty fine shape so long as they don't find their next source of Plowshares, and I find I start finding cantrips. But my opponent also has like double Mock Simon. I've got a lot of dead cards in my deck, like Armageddon and Winter Orb and stuff. It's pretty annoying. trying to decide what to plow. Third plowshares. Can't say I'm a fan of getting plowshared over and over again. That's one weakness of this deck. It's like, and I could have named plowshares with my meddling mage and would have saved me from this one and then the following one. It's like the only removal in their deck, but it's also the only removal in our deck. So I think I could have named plowshares knowing that my Psychotog could brawl with any future Terravores, and I just didn't have the guts. Kind of unfortunate. But yeah, don't love this spot. Only thing I've got is the board, but my opponent has just so much value going on over there, and eventually they're just going to overwhelm me. They can just play multiple Terravores, you know. Luckily, they're only drawing Mox Diamonds. I don't mind this Armageddon at all. I might not even play lands, honestly. Okay, looks like we put them in the corner. They're down to one card. Oh, that second Psychotog. No, Meddling Mage is better, right? Because Meddling Mage is just going to cut off their future outs. Meddling Mage is going to cut off the Swords of Plowshares. It sort of does the same thing as the second Psychotog, because if they plow the first Psychotog, that just means I'll have the second Psychotog behind. It's definitely going to be chump block on the Psychotog. That's a forced action. So Meddling Mage might be too slow if their final remaining card is Swords of Plowshares, because they did like tap a white mana awkwardly. So let's go ahead and just grab this Tog, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Their Terravore is going to be a 9/9. It's pretty concerning. Man, really interesting spot. Do I think they have a Terravore waiting behind? They get 3 looks. Yeah, I need like an insurance Psychotog, because Psychotog's the only creature in my deck that can brawl with Terravore. And I'm not going to Meddling Mage plow when my opponent's used 2 of copies of theirs, and I'm drawing towards my copies. So, don't mind an insurance Psychotog. Okay, I really don't want to turn on this Weathered Wayfarer because it's going to be like forced to chump block like next turn, right? All my spells cost 1 or 2 mana. Do I even bring Ray of Revelation in? I mean, it's like Ray of Revelation on Sylvan Library is so pathetic. Maybe they'll have some random goodness. Okay, let's see if that's the Terravore here. No. Okay. Great spot. Alright, I think my opponent kind of got to do everything they wanted in life, and I still was able to get through just because like the way my deck is constructed just kind of lines up pretty well. Oh wow, this foil is a little awkward. Down to 2. Can't imagine how many outs they can have from here. I'm at 20 life. Did the flawless victory. Alright, so they're a Mox Diamond deck. Really just no point in doing that. What other enchantments am I afraid of? Just like Kurtar's Desire randomly. Sylvan Library. Weird sideboard juke to turn into an Oath of Druids deck. I really just don't want to respect these Sylvan libraries because they just don't matter to me. Like I can just put in Engineered Plague to just like randomly pick off Wayfarers, but that's like also not good either. So it's not like they're particularly good. I'm just gonna play Disenchant and sometimes pick off opposing Mox Diamond just to make my opponent's deck function worse. This hand is pretty borderline. It's got a lot of good stuff. I think I'll take 2 looks at a land. Port, huh? Well, Werebear start. Little mulch start. Nice. A little 1-card mult. 2 mana, draw 1 card. That is why I think mulch is mid. Land? Oof. What do you pitch? Pitch the Screen Dryad? Just pitch a second Gush. No, wait, pitch a second Gush. The only way to get back in is Gush. Dryad's at least redundant, so. Almost threshold. They're just going to start tapping that gemstone mine. Threshold is a concern. Island? Can't be City of Brass. There we go. Island. And we're just going to keep it chill for 1 turn, right? How bad do I want to Swords to Plowshares? So Island, Gush. Island, Gush, go up to 10 cards in hand. Guess this is kind of clean. I got 2 Gushes, so I just got to start recasting these. I didn't spend that much time considering casting Meddling Mage, but there are certainly good Meddling Mage names here. I think what I'll do is I'll name Swords of Plowshares next, and then I'll play Psychotog, and then I'll be in pretty good shape. So, Call the Herd is fine. I actually have my ace versus Call the Herd. So we're just fading Pyroblast here. Swords, Plowshares. Okay, so Battlefield is now going to be ours in 1 turn. That's great. It's a little awkward that they get a port us off casting Psychotog, but they have to choose between port or make an elephant here, so unless they hit a land drop. Wasteland, okay. So we'll get some pressure, but once we get our Psychotog down, we're going to feel pretty safe. If we draw Mox Diamond. There you have it. Okay, we're fading exactly Pyroblastum's. So Psychotog on defense, Query Dryad on offense, pretty good setup. We beat the best card against us in the form of Elephant Token in this scenario. And our second Gush is just going to be disgusting. Yep, can't brawl with me. Can't work me over. Oh my god. The gifts keep on coming. Okay, things really worked out for me this game. I mean, my opponent can still do something fancy, but and it is going to take some time before this Grearing Dryad is a. Oh, I get to do Psychotog on offense now too. It's going to take a while before this Grearing Dryad gets big enough to party, but that's fine. Disenchanting this Mox no longer matters. Terravor. Does Terravor matter? Terravor really doesn't matter, does it? Because it's going to be a 2-2. I just need to counter stuff that puts lands into the graveyard. I mean, it does price me into countering every single Armageddon, but I mean, Armageddon's like, some would argue should not be present in my opponent's deck at this point. Tappy tappy. Let's draw a Portent. Portent's fine. Meddling Mage. Chill on this Meddling Mage. I think eventually this Tog is just going to get through, or I can just like do stuff like that. Okay, let's gush. Exile target creature with power 2 or less. Well, I got bad news for you. That is not going to be power 2 or less. Well, ice an elephant token. I probably would have gone after the Meddling Mage. Oh, now I have a foil. That's pretty cool. I can trade with Terravor plus a thing, or I could actually trade with them both if I foiled my own spell. What happens if I relax? Is relaxing that big of a deal? Guess I should have thrown a disenchant on Mox Diamond a while back. It feels like Armageddon would just be such a horrible play from here. Just given, like, you know, like what if they Armageddon, they're down to 1 Mox Diamond, I can disenchant the Mox Diamond and they just have like a giant Terravor against no lands. Eventually I draw Swords of Plowshares, right? So it's just like they're Armagedding their own lands. So I think I'm just gonna best thing to name would be like Terravor or Elephant Token. I'm not too scared of Last Breath because they just cashed one in. So let's just stop the. Oh, I have foil backup. What am I doing? Like I fear nothing right now. I like these Terrageddon lists because of the things that they can do. Yeah, Armageddon, sure. Giant Terravor. Still doesn't boogie with my Psychotogs. Oh, I guess I could have foiled that. I was like just not thinking. Whatever. We'll just play slow. I'm just gonna wait till I have an ice and then ice the Terravor, force double chump block. It's fine with me. It's going to be a long process to get to a winning state, but it's going to happen eventually. There's just nothing I need to counter. I'm just gonna this Weathered Wayfarer can get Core Haven. Like, obviously that's a thing. Like, oh, how does this work? Doesn't work. Don't even have to ice the Terravore. Like, my thing is just bigger. Yeah, my Dryad's just bigger now. Let the chump blocking begin. Oh, I guess I should have got... no, they would have just chumped the... whatever. So 11. Fire the Wayfarer, and I'm trying to do 11, 14 damage. Now I'm trying to do 13 damage. $12, 13, 14 damage. Okay. Goodbye to your board, goodbye to my board. All's fair. And I have a counterspell up, and it's game over. Probably should have foiled the Armageddon. Just literally forgetting. Alright, that's a really good matchup for us, so not too much to talk about there. It's just it's weird because it's mid-range versus tempo, but their deck is over-indexed on Swords to Plowshares, and they missed their window to make Swords to Plowshares relevant. Obviously, they just didn't have it, so whatever. Yeah, if they have no removal, Tog and Dryad just go bigger, and their entire mana denial strategy just doesn't work against us. So they have 4/4s, but we have 10/10s. All right, we are playing against Sackboy, or I think this is Nick. Pretty sure. Normally plays Elves, so normally I like my matchup, but Elves is changing every minute. Alright, keepable hand. Not the worst 6. I've got Fire Ice if I need it. I've got more Fire Ice if I need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw these. I'm going to opt past the sleight of hand so that I can portent into a red. I'm going to try to double Fire Ice him out of the game. Okay, Mox Diamond's not a bad place to be. Okay, well, we really need this next land. There's no way I'm going to just cast a Mox Diamond here and lose my land drop. Plus I can just find a Gush and be in good spot. I do have to shuffle this. But if my opponent is not on our survival hand, I got a decent shot. We'll see. Yeah, a little bit more mid-rangey here. Okay, Symbiote's pretty good for them. Give me a Gush. I'm a little bit cold to a natural order here. Cradle's pretty good. Tanglewire's pretty good. But Tanglewire is just gonna spin the wheels. I'm not too concerned here because I can just relax. Opponent needs to get something good going on. I mean, a natural order is obviously good, but I think this could just be like a little Mengu splash list. A Massacre, that's fine. I can brawl with the Massacre pretty easy. Going for a symbiote. It's not bad. Topped. Don't really want sleight of hand right now. And we'll keep up with the fire. At least opponent needs to discard the only card in their hand. So it's just Massacre versus, or obviously they can pick up the Courier and pitch the Courier in here. City of Brass, I'm going to chill on the Sea of Brass. Play City of Brass, tap 2 permanents. Okay, so I actually do want the City in play so I can get a Psychotog out. And we're just kind of in the Plowshares or Gushlet waiting room. Okay. I mean, opponent's got a lot of air. They drew 4 mana sources, a bunch of symbiote with no, like, symbiote's just more mana. Massacre's their only action right here, so don't hate it. Obviously, I'm on a 4-turn clock, but I think I can draw out here. Now the survival is going to make things hard. Unless, of course, it's survival plus no squee. See what we got. Another Mox is not what I needed, unfortunately. Okay, it is a squee. That is going to make things pretty hard to go, especially because deranged from it. Okay, now would be a great time to draw Gush. I can't hold off this mana forever. Hand was a little too awkward this game. They definitely got the... I mean, I don't know. It's like turn 7, so... It's not like their survival came at like a crazy time. I should get Granger probably. I can get like... Yeah. Granger's pretty good. Alright, opponent with 1,000 upkeep triggers. We're going to go squee. We're going to pitch the squee back to Massacre. We still have plenty of mana to get Granger to turn on Anger. So we've got some good stuff going on. I have actually a pretty good setup if I draw Armageddon, because then their mountain would be gone, their cradle would be gone. They actually wouldn't have any mana. So I would love to find it exactly this turn. Everything has haste. Okay. Forcing the Mastercore to regenerate is actually honestly okay. Because the it kills the wall of roots. It's pretty relevant, I think. I want to prevent the damage anyways. Like 3 activations. Should be fine. I don't like blocking something that's just going to go away. Okay, let's check out this Armageddon pretty soon, right? So my opponent is obviously, because getting the wall of roots also reduces the cradle mana. I could put myself, I mean, I don't know. It would be like extremely good for me if I draw Armageddon. I mean, I'll even take a Winter Orb right here, right? Because like I've got Mock Simons. Probably gonna draw a blank though. Let's figure it out. Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming. Okay, counts as a blocker. I don't even know if this stops a hermit, but it certainly could. Okay, let's see. Doesn't pay the echo. Has exact mana for hermit. Hermit, I have 3 blocks. Gets in with 2 squirrel tokens and the hermit itself and the acolyte. So hermit's a kill here. No pay. Pick up squee. Put down squee. I mean, I guess if they don't have a creature in their hand or they don't draw a creature for their draw step. I mean, they would just pitch the other creature, so it's fine. Priest. Go get Priest. Priest has a lot of mana. Go get Hermit. 2, 3. Ranger. Ranger. 0 cards. Pick up Forest. Start shooting stuff for the Mastercore. 1 damage to Psychotog. Now this Mastercore can no longer attack. Which is like something I want. Let's see, this adds 3 mana. Ugh. Oh, at least I get to cover the next thing. But, yeah, I mean, I think the Quirion Dryad should be dead here. But either way, it just doesn't really matter. I mean, this is just profitable, I'm pretty sure. Because I get that toughness back. 2 best creatures in the history of Premodern. Duking it out. Okay, let's hope opponent doesn't draw a creature this turn, so this counterspell can get some leverage. Don't really remember. Discards forest, discards squee. They have another land drop, so they can take. They can try to take out a Psychotog, and they'll fail. Okay. Down for this. I mean, I don't think I have a better block. I don't think chumping is good. I'm gonna lose my guy no matter what. But my opponent won't be able to pick up any more forests for their priest. Their only card in hand is forest. What if the draw is Armageddon? The draw is Armageddon. Take 2, go down to 5. Let's see. 2 go down to 5. Can survive a Masticore hit. It's pretty relevant. This is like preventing 4 damage anyways, though. Masticore has to untap, and I mean, I have to play for Armageddon. And they can't play this forest because of the threat, so let's get there, please. Okay, does Counterspell save me? So my opponent is going to just go shoot, shoot. I'm going to exile 1. Shoot, shoot out of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they can shoot 3 times. Plowshares. Gush. I would probably squee for. I would probably go get Deranged Tournament again, right? Okay, I guess I had to have Counterspell for Deranged Tournament, but then I don't know. I wouldn't have had. Then they could just take the shoot shoot line, and if they took the shoot shoot line, I'd pitch Counterspell, pump twice, and then get the third one in. I'd get 2 pumps against 3. So it's actually kind of fine because they had to commit the mana first. So technically, I should have kept Counterspell in hand. I would have lost because my next draw would have been sleight of hand into the same nothing, but sleight of hand into foil, but you know. At least force them to potentially misplay. Acolyte tapping Cradle mana. Right, they can just put more attackers on the table. They can just attack with 3 creatures. They're like, just attack. Anything can happen from here. I would have had to like counterspell whatever creature they got. Counterspell the Acolyte and then just die to whatever this is. I am surviving a lot more turns than I deserve. And now... Oh, they're just doing it the fancy way. That's still not enough mana. Gush, Armageddon, Plowshares. Only out. Double attack here. Gush, Armageddon, Plowshares doesn't even work. Or, yeah, Gush, Armageddon, Mox Diamond, Plowshares. I guess I had to ice to try to find ice into fire. Maybe ice into fire is an option. Oh, smart. Uses the cradle mana. Nope. Yep. Okay, well. Cradle mana is used. Squee in hand. Nice. Let this mana go away. I guess I should have waited till draw step. Act like it's cast. It's opt. Okay. Sure. Okay. That was a funny one, I guess. At least we're on the play. Let's see, what kind of game do we play? Really dislike counter spells in this matchup. I also, Sword Splashers isn't that good. Like, realistically, best thing I'm going to plow is like a Wirewood Symbiote most of the time. I mean, I guess I plow with Wirewood Symbiotes to set up Engineered Plague is like the best possible way that you could slice it, but maybe Psychotog is kind of bad. I'm like raising the curve a lot, so the Togs are just kind of meh. Yeah, I'm good with this. I don't think there's anything I need to counter. Obviously, Natural Order is kind of a pain if they have it, but I don't think there's a Natural Order in the opponent's deck, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're just naming Elves and Squirrels and just kind of dealing. I mean, obviously, Counterspell on Disenchant is pretty good, but my plan is just to try multiple plagues. This looks like a fine deck. I guess I can play slightly fewer Disenchants because Meddling Mage isn't out to survival, and then I'll just move them back in. Because I'll have like these as outs to survival, these as outs to survival, and then Counterspell can be like an out to survival and to naturalize. Let's try it. I think it's kind of fine. Alright, we've got the goods. We have everything we possibly want in this world. Except for our Meddling Mage. I'll take a Counterspell. Alright, my sideboarding theory kind of worked. So fire here prevents some Tangle Wire, but it's kind of a lazy fire. I mean, it's not a high value fire. It's like we always want to get 2, right? And then we want to stop a Symbiote as well. I guess I should go slightly higher on Disenchants just because they have Wire too. Natural Mountain, huh? Show me the survival of the fittest. Alright. We're now in control of the game. Let's see what. Play another elf! Do it! Do it, Sackboy! No! Play another elf! Why? Why are you seeing what I'm doing? Okay, whatever, I'm just gonna play this Engineered Plague anyways, 3 mana. I choose Elf. Call the herd! Okay, that's why I have my Psychotogs back here. I see. Ooh, even better. Come on. I don't need that now. Okay, fine. Can we get a gush around here? 1 gush is all I ask. Just 1 gush. Make another elephant. Make another elephant. Give me an island. Give me a gush. Give me a gush in a box diamond even. Give me something. Island is fine. Alright, so let's portent opponent question mark. What do I want? I want like plowshares. Do I even want plowshares? I want more Korean dryads. I want gush. Probably want gush. These are not cards I like. I kind of want the mage or the disenchant. My stupid deck can't beat Call the Herd. I'm so annoyed. I have to Meddling Mage name and Call the Herd. Fine. Okay, that's a little scary. Maybe I do have to play Armageddon to deal with Mountain. I don't think I'm gonna win this game. I mean, what's the point? Just a +1/+1 counter, and to go just like past that last portent. I've got plenty of mana. I kind of don't need to use my mana. What am I looking for? Like more Engineered Plague, more Gush, counter spells. I might have to find a disenchant in a hurry next turn. So. These aren't problems. Still not a problem. Could this be a problem now? 8 mana. No Hermit, please. Guess the Hermit's technically fine. I can just get them. I mean, I have like a 5/5, right? So, what are they gonna do? Could definitely use a disenchant. They're gonna send 2 damage at my Tog, I think, because they don't have anything to do with their floating mana. Okay, it is a Hermit. Okay. 4 squirrels. It's fine. What if I just kill these guys? And then name Squirrel. Is that crazy? It's not crazy. No, it is crazy. Well, I'm going to name Squirrel no matter what, but a symbiote in play is better than an acolyte in play, right? Maybe? Yeah. A symbiote in play is much scarier than an acolyte in play. Oh, what I can do is I can do this, and then I can name Elf, and then I'm kind of like dealing with squirrel tokens. No, I really have to name Squirrel. Okay. fine. I should put one Armageddon back in. I don't know. Seems kind of bad still. Yes, this. Engineered Plague. Squirrel. Portent Self. More Gush? Sure. Oh, this just dies to Massacre. Whatever. That was a punt. I mean, I should definitely not commit my stupid guy. No, mid-range green deck sideboard plan is my nemesis. I haven't beaten it a million years. I can't do it. I can't beat mid-range green deck. Mid-range green red decks are my kryptonite. I can't do anything about them. Oh man. I probably should have shuffled that too, because like Gush Shuffle is the same thing. I get 2 looks and then whatever. Oh, and they have the squee naturally. Bah. What is this? Sure. I mean, the only difference is they would have had to like whatever first. Okay, they're just gonna have the anger. Oh, call the herd. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know about this though. This is something that I'm generally unsure about. Like, they're just trading 2 mana for 2 cards in Yard. It's not like I don't think it like does anything. Like, I mean, obviously, eventually the Psychotog is gonna die. But like, they've used all their mana now. They had no creature in hand to survival with. I mean, obviously that's clear, but now I have I get a Mage Naming Naturalize. I get to possibly draw a Disenchant. It's like pretty good for me. I think I'm gonna get the Plains probably. I'm tired of paying whatever for my mana. No, Island is still more correct. No, Plains might. If I draw exactly Ray of Revelation. Really? Where's my Disenchant? I have Disenchant. I have no answers to this stupid Mastercore besides Disenchant. Yeah, I need slightly more blue mana. It's not the end of the day world if I well, whatever. Get rid of that. I just need to fling now. I mean, eventually my Psychotog is going to be like big enough to fling. I'll just go ahead and do this in case I need a flashback Revelation in that turn, because I can respond to a survival. It's kind of awkward because I want to discard the Mox to the Psychotog, but if they play Survival of the Fittest, etc., etc. Although I've been in multiple spots now where like Armageddon would literally be fine. So, like, just imagine Armageddon here. Then you know, they're playing their mid-range plan. They have to work so hard to get lands into play. So it's like I can actually Armageddon them, and it's not that big of a deal. Serve with Mastercore. Serve with everything. Block like this. Take up to 3. Can they like kill my Korean Dryad? Surely not, right? Regenerate Massacre, that resolves. They're just gonna put more pressure onto my Psychotog. I will do what it takes to keep my guy around. They get 3 free damage into it. I would have started by killing the Meddling Mage like a few turns ago. But I mean they've cashed in all their mana for my cards in graveyard, so. Oh, I guess I should have blocked the elephant with my Dryad. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can't even do combat. I can't even do combat correctly. Oh, vomit. Okay, whatever. At least I'm live for drawing disenchant here. Is this lethal? It surely is, right? Ice this, get in for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I need to ice this into a draw spell. One, 2, 14. If I play this, what's that just at right now? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1 damage off. Come on. And then when I cast this, it's the same difference. Or no, it's cast this, 14, 15, 16. Cast this, I get 3 from my graveyard, 1 from my hand. 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 14 is 19. So I cast this. 14. We'll name, I don't know, survival of the fittest. Pitch goes to 2, goes to 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 14 is 19. Man, Masticore really gets in there, huh? I need to go to the bathroom. Alright, what should we do different? Blocks 1/1s. Blocks everything. Blocks everything. Deals with Tangle Wire, Masticore, and stuff. Doesn't really deal with anything. So these become like plowshares, so that I have outs to Masticore, which actually, and it kind of gets Elephant. Meddling Mage stays in to name Call the Herd some of the time. Like if I don't name Survival, or if I have enough removal for Survival, I name Call the Herd. Engineered Plague is still good. Like I'll literally name it Masticore if I have to, right? I mean, I won't. Plague is still good. It's a really high mana card, but I'm still playing like a Mox deck, right? Okay, I want more disenchants in my deck. And in fact, I might even like the disenchant more than the Revelation. And I kind of like the other plowshares, but just gonna hope to draw the plowshares when we draw the plowshares kind of naturally. I think they board it into two plowshares or 2 Masticores, right? I think Armageddon is like a legitimately good answer to a lot of their boards, because if I have Engineered Plague in play and I cast Armageddon, like I can really get them. But I'm also on the draw, which makes that look really bad. But if I like don't have it in my deck, it has no chance of ever happening. I think this is fine. Elephant token is pretty balls for me. Okay, whatever. Hopefully I have turn 1 Mage on Survival into Quirion Dryad and to win the game. This is a keepable hand. It needs a 5-color source, but it'll find one hopefully eventually. Hopefully. Bunch of looks at a 5-color source. They're starting on a mulligan. I'll take a Mox. Should I look for the Mox right now? No, I have nothing to do with it if I draw it. Survival, okay. I'll take a disenchant effect. Portent gets me closer to where I need to go. That is a 5-color source. What's their first survival target? Priest of Titania? Anger? Portland can go get me an engineered plague. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I did that a little bit too quickly, but it's okay. So I'm a little bit scared of Tangle Wire, but it's not the end of the world if they're going to use 3 of their mana on Tangle Wire. Let's go get... I mean, they're not going to get Squee, they're going to get a good thing, and then they should know to get Squee after that. Okay, that's not good. That's not what I want. Granger? Cradle? No! Stop it! Stop it! Oh boy, this is dangerous for me. Man, I should be lobbing fires at stuff now. What do I do? I kind of need Armageddon. So Psychotog is 1 blocker against... Let's see. Anger, Granger. So all these are gone. 2 mystery cards. 2 mystery cards, 5 up to 6 mana. Anger online. Could pay, probably doesn't. What am I trying to do? Psychotog to just block a single creature and then try to double Fire Ice next turn. Pays 3, doesn't pay 3. Either way would have 5 mana. So with 6 mana they can just get in there with a Hermit. Psychotog doesn't really change that much. Getting off these Fire Ices might matter. Ultimately, I think I just have to get a disenchant or a disenchant or whatever, like this turn. Disenchant or engineered plague this turn. Okay, so now I have the option to double fire to prevent mana or go fire into Meddling Mage. So I can go Meddling Mage, name. I can go Meddling Mage and fire in this turn. What's the scariest? Still Deranged Hermit. Let it die, 3 mana. Acolyte. Acolyte could go get Symbiote. Yeah, Priest, makes sense. Okay, can they loop here? They have 1 free creature. I don't think they can make enough mana, but honestly I don't know. I mean, they probably can, right? I mean, it helps that they have all these acolytes naturally. Probably should have held up another blocker, call it a claw. Massacre. Just a fair Massacre. Technically okay with me. Serve, everything. I don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, this is like, it's really unfortunate this game is going to time, because I think everything would have happened differently, but... Yeah, I mean, are we at even board? Can I see the top cards? I mean, I kind of want to, I kind of just want to replay for game 3. I don't see the harm. I think we should run the game 3 again. Alright, we're going to run game 3 again. Okay, yeah, let's go full reactive. It's really hard to get counterspell under them. Like, once I get them in top deck, it's like possible that I can catch something with a counterspell, but I think it's hard otherwise. And we'll just like go full control. So much of this game really does come down to Massacre, which is making me think that Plowshares is what I want to be doing. So we'll just go full Plowshares. Am I like like, can I draw too many Engineered Plagues? That's the question. It's like, can I draw too many plagues? It's like, surely I can't, right? Because I can name Elf, I can name Squirrel, I can name Insect. It's like, I'm always going to get value from it. And Engineered Plague just makes it so much harder for him to go off with Survival. So I really don't think I should be boarding them out. Honestly, it's just a lot of clunk. I think I really just need to hope to get lucky. And just like my threats line up with their answers, because these cantrips are good for selection, but I don't know. Maybe a cantrip is better than drawing too many plows. It's just like, but I'll always be able to use a plow. I'll always be able to use these cards if I draw them. I mean, these are the only cards I need to like try to time correctly, but the rest I can just, as soon as I draw it, I can play it. In fact, the Fire Ices were awkward. I had so many places where I was like, should I Fire Ice one creature? Fire Ice was almost redundant to Engineered Plague to some extent. But I think we'll try this. I mean, Dryad gets a lot worse here, but Dryad's my only plan against elephants. So we'll go for this. Alright, we're just looking for a source again. But we have an answer to survival if we find it, so... And I might plow an elf here. I might, but I'm not going to. I mean, I'm just looking for a Mox Diamond, right? Wow. Okay, so this time I go Plowshare, City of Brash, Plowshares, Symbiote. So City of Brash, Plowshare, Symbiote is okay. next turn, land, diamond. So I'll be a little behind on the good stuff. But brass plowshares is fine. And I don't really need to cast this portent in a hurry. And then when it goes to tap 2, I'll be able to get the plague on the ground. So hopefully that's fast enough. If this is just okay, Multani's Acolyte is okay. Obviously, if I draw a second Mox, I'm kind of down to just double Mox it out. So how bad do I want this Dryad? Dryad's kind of slow here, and I really don't want all these lands. Okay, second Tinklewire is obviously annoying. Okay, we'll tap 2, tap Tinklewire and the Acolyte, and then we have access to 3 mana, so just enough to drop another Tinklewire. Oh, seems aggressive. They just want to get 2 damage in. They have nothing to cast? They really have nothing to cast? They have nothing to cast! Oh my god! Oh my god! I think, oh. Wait, nothing to cast? An elf? An elf? Exactly what we needed! Oh boy. Oh, because they think they're still under the Tinklewire protection. Oh man, that's pretty sick. Oh man, and they're gonna keep the plagues are gonna keep coming. Okay. Alright, so now we're fading Masticore again. Natural Mountain. Granger. Call the herd. Squee. Squee, get in there. I think the first Meddling Mage. I really want to stop both. Well, I guess I have Naturalize covered because I have a second plague. So this one's gonna name Survival. Oh, okay. So the deep thought is that they might have. Do I have all 3 plows? I do, right? So they might play the Squee to get the mana. No, it's fine. So like play Squee to get the mana works if their card is Deranged Hermit, which I at least have covered by like having a 2/2 in play. Symbiote. Okay, let's just go look for some offense, and then I'm not Future Masticore. Oh, I have Survival super covered because I have a Ray of Revelation in hand, so I should have named something like something big. Okay. I think we'll just chill. No. I'll put my opponent farther away from anything good. So if you have Wire, Tangle to get whatever, yeah, these are kind of like useless cards to draw here. So go Acolyte last. Survival. Man, I wish Deranged Hermit made insect tokens. And I'm just going to front side this Gush because the Tinklewire that's coming. Never mind, I'm going to play Green Dryad. I am probably going to name Goblin to stop infinite blocking. And there's no point in waiting. Yep. Freaking important lock-in. Okay, these are all... these are slow enough, right? Llanowar Elves doesn't do anything. Acolyte's just going to draw a Granger, and then Granger is going to do nothing. Oh, I guess I could have put Granger. No, that's actually fine. Oh, and I'll go ahead and gush here. Yep, gushing here is fine. Oh, too bad I can't get that into play, but it also doesn't matter. I should have started on Gush, though, obviously, to have a lethal Psychotog, so mild blunder there. But it's okay that I know their next draws are really bad, so I can just go Psychotog. And then Psychotog's a lethal threat here. Okay, so we're going to go Multani's Acolyte into Yavimaya Granger. Yavimaya Granger does get the chump block for one turn, so obviously that's good, but I don't think there's a way out of the lock from here. I guess there's potential for a Caller of the Claw line. Yeah, I mean, I wish I got that Psychotog down one turn earlier, obviously. Okay, any interaction obviously does it, and that counts as interaction. Alright, 4-game set. Had the real one. Alright, good games, Nick, Sackboy. Really sick match, a lot harder for me, post-art board. Yeah, I mean, just a really good example of I think I sideboard pretty well, but it's like it's an evolving matchup. Like Call of the Herd ends up being pretty good, but also like Psychotog versus Call of the Herd is pretty good, but Masticore's good, and then I like didn't have Plowshares, so I think I fixed a lot of stuff there. Yeah, good games. Final round, let's go. This has been, I mean, that was a wild match. And we're on the play, so we're super And we're gonna mulligan no lander. Hand would have been sweet. Alright, we'll take this. Gush, Armageddon, Mox, Meddling Mage. It's not the best Meddling Mage in the world because I might not know what my opponent's up to. I think I want all these cards. I think I want to have the option to go fast into Gush Armageddon. And if I do that, then what's going to happen? This Meddling Mage is actually pretty sus because I would need to Portent into the source because I'm never going to pitch the source to the Mox Diamond on turn 2. I'm just going to be waiting until I can set up the trap, obviously. So we're just going to play the Armageddon game and hope my opponent's playing on some mid-range. Okay, we are going to get a Meddling Mage anyways. Oh, black deck. Mayday, mayday! For all the negative things I've said about Basic Swamp, I mean, I don't know. We talked about it earlier in this league. I mean, if it's the black-white deck, I guess I'm in great shape. Only problem is I can't cast this. Portent that's coming, and then I'm just going to draw a Meddling Mage behind it. It's kind of no good. Unmask, Exiling Ritual. Am I getting reanimated? I would take the Gush. Counterspell, okay. Oh, just beat down. That's also really good against me, actually. This Armageddon is super blank. I mean, I don't know about these cards. I need a land. Fire Ice is fine. I need like a Psychotog, actually. I need like a Psychotog like right friggin' now. Next turn I'll be able to make 4 mana, 1 of a color. Hopefully it's not a Duress. Hopefully it's not Phyrexian Negator. Oh, gross. These cards are so bad. Man, Mono Black Beatdown. Skittering Scourge. Okay, I needed the Fire Ice, I guess. This is like not even a good Gush. It just doesn't draw anything. Like I'm just like not guaranteed to play a spell off this Gush. And like, I mean, my opponent knows that I have Gush Armageddon behind. Take 5. Trying to dig for an answer is pretty bad. Just throwing Gendon out is pretty bad. I mean, at least I know my opponent can't play creature next turn, so it has to be like a Sarcomancy. But if it's like a Duress, it's like super bad for me anyways. So should I just like get in here? Get in here and then just keep the game going next turn? All my options are bad. I'm just gonna maybe Gush Foil. Take 5, Gush Armageddon, do nothing, take 5 again, I'm down to 8, and then I need to like deal with this Skittering Scourge. Interesting. Not really liking the sound of any of this. Yeah, Fire Ice would have been a good draw. Exile Dark Ritual. No creatures, just interaction. Probably just kill spells. Probably just like a bunch of edicts in their hand. Okay, I'll take 10 damage, whatever. If I find Swords to Plowshares off this Gush, like I'll be back in the game, so. Okay. They're offering the factory up. Plow. Tog. Tog's really bad against Edict. Take 5 down to 8. Take 3 down to... I mean, I can pull it out, right? I just need to not get spited. I can pull this out. This is such a bad matchup. Just a bunch of 2/2s. My stupid deck can't just like beat a deck that only plays creatures. Yeah, and they have lands. Luckily, they don't have extra development. Okay, we got the plow. So this is more mana efficient, right? And it's like resistant to snuff out, and they need to draw another land for Edict to be a thing. Obviously, Smother's good. I mean, I have Gush Foil. Obviously, I have Gush Foil any removal spell, and that's just like my life. Curse Scroll is actually quite good. I guess I needed to mess up that Curse Scroll immediately. Gonna play a land, I'm gonna play another Portent, I'm gonna play Plow, I'm gonna play Mox Diamond. Swamp Blast. Yeah, you can draw all the funeral charms you want. Swamp Walk doesn't matter. Literally have to start attacking. Next card, Sleight of Hand. And Tuco Shade's kind of cool. I don't know, I'm like in this game. I'm not like that in this game. My 3 cards are going to line up with their 3 cards. I don't have like good stuff going on. I really need a Dryad. Although if I get Meddling Mage naming Nantuko Shade, that'd be kind of like funny. Wasteland. Well, my opponent's going to have a turned on Curse Scroll quite soon. And they can also just go for 50/50s. but they would probably start with Funeral Charm. Ooh, I like a conservative attack here. No. They're like trying to figure out if they can die if I have Gush. I do need Gush. Trying to get to 15 with Psych-Dog is going to be a tough time. Okay. 3 damage in my graveyard, 2 damage in hand. Funeral Charm. Funeral Charm, upkeep, Curse Scroll. Gets me. And then I really am gonna plow my own Tog. Unfortunately, Gush is a little slow. Okay. So they drew Funeral Charm. They should draw Nantuko Shade next. They won't be able to play the Shade. I shouldn't be pumping because I'm just going to pump the max into my Psych-Tog and to plow my own Psych-Tog on this plan. Upkeep. Oh, nice. Sarcomancy damage. Got to keep an eye on that. Maybe there's a way out. How many cantrips do I need? I have 3, 4, 5, 6 power. So I need quite a few cantrips still. Keep, okay. Scroll me. I think I miscounted though. Oh, unmask. Unmask means they can get under scroll no matter what. So it's unmask. So they're going to draw Shade. They can unmask me if they want. Rippin' Psychotog. Okay, so their next draw is Swamp. Them drawing swamps is pretty good. Them drawing 1 mana spell is pretty good. Okay. No, I would not like to draw a counterspell. I'd like to draw anything. Okay. It's not exactly what I meant. The unmasks are pretty good, I think. Because if it's like, if Dark Ritual Duress is a good play, then like 2-drop unmask is like still also a good play, right? Okay. Do this. Oh, no. That just gets me no matter what. Oh man, Cursed Scroll. Engineered Plank naming zombie, huh? How good is that? Okay, what's my answer to Cursed Scroll? It's like to play 1 Armageddon and 1 whatever. I'm gonna just play these Engineered Plagues. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Play Counterspell? So we're just gonna be a removal deck. Okay. Maybe I'll just try to get them. Get multiple Engineered Plagues in play named Zombie, and then they just like grind me out. This is like only good against Cursed Scroll. It's like so bad otherwise. The rest of the time they just like literally don't use their mana. They're like only operating Cursed Scroll with their mana. And they have Dark Ritual in their deck. Okay, I just have to be at a life total higher than Cursed Scroll can get. I mean, I guess on the play I'd rather like counterspell targeting anything. I'm just like behind the whole time. Meddling Mage naming Cursed Scroll. Yeah, use counterspell to protect my creatures, I think. What kind of cards could I possibly want? I think getting 2 Engineered Plagues down naming Zombie is like not the dumbest thing in the world. It's kind of dumb, but it's not the dumbest thing in the world. Not a fan of this. Okay, fine. Horrible, but fine. Just keep all my interaction. Just believe I'll portend into the land. That's fine with me. Okay. Play Negator. No! Now don't play a negator. These are... What?! Oh. Oh, that's not good. What the fuck? Sphere of resistance, no! I have a family, sphere of resistance. Okay, well, I hope the card behind Psychotog is a freaking, No, Vicious Factory, no! Oh, I guess Engineered Flakes can name Shade. You know, they're really bad when they cost 4 mana, though. Alright, I'm gonna draw a Psychotog and pass the turn. Oh boy. Really wish I didn't bottom that Plains now. I guess I should have, like, at least had it in my range because of Psychotog, like, because of Wasteland. Like, they have Wasteland in their deck. Oh boy. Yeesh. No Mishra's attack. Okay, if we get Psychotog on the battlefield, we, like, kind of have a game, but we really don't. First, we need to draw a land. Nope. Okay, this is me dying a horrible death. I don't even wanna ice or fire. I mean, obviously I have to. Let's go fire, fire. Fire, fire doesn't get there. Oh man, GG's. So turn 1 ritual Sphere of Resistance. That's how you do it. Not too many comments about that. Besides, this is a sweet way to get my deck. I almost went an entire league without playing against this on my Gro-a-tog deck. I guess I should be thankful that it took the entire league. Alright, GG's. There you have it. Little 5-1. Really close match against Elves. Mono Black beat down one of the toughest matchups for this. It's like following me around. I lost to Mike Arnold's Mono Black beatdown in the Band Gauntlet when I had the full power of Force of Will behind my back. But yeah, my stuff just doesn't line up well against the guys. The endless stream of 1 mana 2/2s, and Cursed Scroll is obviously super ace against me. I don't know if I needed to play that differently, where I like didn't need to juice my Psychotog, just like let my opponent go to like beyond 24 and gain the max life on my Psychotog, and then or just preempt it. I mean, the Unmask came out of nowhere. Like, my plan was to get down to 4, serve with Psychotog, exile with everything, and then gain, like, you know, I could have gained like 10 life. Instead, I gained a lot less. I could have gotten the damage and the life, but instead I did the half measure, which was pretty bad. So I should have sequenced all that a little bit differently in hindsight. So got a little bit dumb with my Psychotog play there. But yeah, I think the deck showed what it's capable of. It definitely hit above average. I played against so many Survival of the Fittest decks, and my general expectation is that I would lose to them at least some of the time. Like, I've got good tools against them, like, you know, having a control plan that's backed up by a bunch of disenchant effects, the possibility of suppressing all their mana production with Plague and whatnot. Like, those are all things going for me. But you know, in general, Survival, if they just like started making just an average creature a turn, like even if they just make a 2/2 a turn, I just can't keep up with that. So I'm just lucky the structure of some of those Survival decks, like I was able to be either a little bit fast to keep the pressure on, their mana was awkward, they didn't have enough green mana to run their Survival, or of course that really great match against Elves where every little bit in resource was just kind of like came into play. I guess I kind of stole that game too. Opponent making like a rushed attack, possibly feeling the pressure of the clock, and then just putting themselves in a situation where they could be dead to ice, and then that ice just happened to be the perfect top deck. So yeah, so that's Gro-a-tog for you. I'd be happy to maybe get a fourth Plowshares back into the list. Plowshares, of course, just super good no matter what. Honestly, this isn't like the craziest counterspell foil deck either. Like maybe this foil just turns into Swords Plowshares, and 3 counterspells is just enough to keep them at bay. You've got Armageddon Winter Orb, so you're good. I wouldn't mind a Pyroblast in the sideboard, but right now this list is feeling super solid, and I've been really enjoying the games with it and feeling like I have a lot of agency. And so yeah, after I've probably played maybe like 15, 20 matches with this. After 20 matches, yeah, my opponent's not playing in Fear of Days is pretty real, but I think if I wanted to go back to playing Days, I would have to really have Winter Orb and Armageddon going, and probably like 3 copies, like probably 2 Winter Orbs, 1 Armageddon main, and then just like always have Days in my deck, and then just always be a tempo deck. And that just kind of doesn't line up well with how I think about the Xerox part of the deck, because like Days is like a opening 7 card, right? It's like opening 7, or maybe like important into it, so you get like 10 looks at Days. Whereas like the Xerox thing is just like, oh, we're going to use all these cantrips to sculpt the perfect hand. It's like, well, how many times is Days on turn 4 part of the perfect hand? Like, it certainly can be, but a lot of things have to happen in front of that Days that are really good, right? So like Days is very rarely going to catch a Swords to Plowshares. So maybe you don't have Days in your opening hand, but you have to go Meddling Mage on Plow into Quirion Dryad into mana suppression with Days backup to get their Vindicate or Wrath of God, whichever costs that much mana. It's like, that's too many good things that are happening to you in a row. And by then, Counterspell is just as good as Days, right? And in many ways, just getting them or Winter Orbing them, is another way to go about solving the problem. So yeah, Days is not missed here, at least in my initial ruling. But I reserve the right to change my mind. I need my opponents to have Fear of Days in their life. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I will catch you next time. Love Spy Colony!